And then I ended up competing for, there was a show called the Rhinos Classic, which was a qualifier for the BPA, British Championships. I took third in the over 40s, second in the under 80s, got the invite. 2 weeks later, I turned up to the British finals, weighed in at 68 kilos, and became the first BPA under 70 kilos British champion.
Congratulations.
And that was all within 12 weeks.
Congratulations, Rob.
Thank you very much.
Mind-blowing. No, that's mind-blowing. That is. Wow, because like that's a lot of effort you put in. Like, that's true. It's like saying you put in the effort, you're going to get the result, and you managed to do that.
Yeah, and that's my biggest thing. You get out of anything what you put in. And I'm not just talking about training, work, it's life, relationships. If you commit yourself 100% to something, you'll get 100% back out. If you half it, oh yeah, I'm just going to get 50%. Don't then moan when you only get 50% back out.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. What is your overall philosophy on training? Like, what is the best approach to use?
Put in the effort. Whatever you put in, you will get back. It might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but I guarantee everything you put into it will come back to you, and then some. And that's where people go wrong. They want a quick fix. Like, it doesn't happen overnight, you know. And I think a lot of youngsters nowadays, because of what happened in the pandemic, everything became quick, instant, it's at the touch of your hand. Oh, I've got Deliveroo, I've got all these things delivered to my door. I can do one shopping, I get next day delivery. Your physique don't work like that. You don't get next day delivery on your physique. It takes years. But trust me, if you're willing to put that effort in, it's so worth it at the end of the day. Not just physically, but as we've touched on, mentally. It puts you in a different mind space. You look at things differently. You view life differently. You view people differently.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like I say, it is a mindset, isn't it? It's all about, you know, how you approach things. And I 100% agree with you on that one. And you know, and it's true. I saw a lot of that happening during the pandemic. You know, by the touch of the finger, okay, I can get this done, I can get that done, I can get the other thing done. No, not when it comes to your health. Never when it comes to your health. It's never going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. And people say all the time when they complain, oh, you go to the gym, but you still look exactly the same. I said, well, I can't order my physique through eBay.
Yeah. It's not Amazon Prime.
It's not Amazon Prime.
No.
Yeah. Even though you might be in your prime, but Amazon Prime's not going to deliver your prime. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Put it that way, yeah. So when it comes to training, obviously everybody has favorite days that they look forward to. A lot of people I know, you know yourself, leg days, their favorite. What's your favorite day when it comes to training?
To be fair, I love training shoulders.
I can tell that you're always being dealt with, as you can see.
It's funny, like when I first started competing, I used to get marked so much down because my shoulders were too small. I didn't have rear delts. And the problem is, like, my arms are that big, they overshadow my shoulders. So I had to build them up. So I'll have like a shoulder day twice a week now because I love training them. And there's so many different movements you can do for shoulders.
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
I love side raises because it gives you that massive cap, which then gives you that all-round 3D look from the front, from the side, from the back. So side raises to me are brilliant. You can't have a lot of weight on it, and if you get it right, it's so strict, but it does so much for them delts.
Yeah, it's all about the control of it, not much how much you weigh, because the more you keep pushing it, you're going to end up tearing something apart, aren't you? Which is the last thing that you need to do.
And it's one of the exercises most people do wrong, because when they're doing side raises, they're doing that, and it's like it's a shrug. Then you're not using your delts, you're using your neck.
Yeah, you're building the traps up rather than the deltoids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And when it comes to, obviously, meal preps, how many meals, like when it comes to, obviously, when you're competing for bodybuilding, when you're building the physique, you're on so many meals at that time, aren't you? And then when it comes to losing, when you have to get a little bit leaner, then you have to eat less calories. When it comes to preparing, how many calories are you on, and what exactly that is that you eat from day to night?
I'm like the weirdest bodybuilder ever because I don't eat a great deal of food. Off season, probably 4 meals a day. Pre-contest, 2 to 3. So I shrink right down. Yeah, like I've done the days where I've done 6 meals a day, 10 meals a day, but I found as I've gotten older, my digestive system can't handle that sheer volume of food anymore. And I'm one of them, when I diet into a show, I have to lose muscle to make the weight. So that's why I have to then reduce my portion sizes and my food intake so much, so I can in turn lose a bit of muscle to make my weight classes. So if you say like prep weight, which is, people think this is ridiculous, the last week leading into a show, I'm probably under 1,000 calories.
Really?
Yeah, and that's doing 2 hours cardio every morning as well.
What's your favorite form of cardio?
To be fair, it's the treadmill because it's a low impact on me. I used to love doing the cross trainer, but for the treadmill, I find it's a weird one. It's therapeutic because I can just let my mind switch off and I can deal with everything in my head. I'm working on my posing routine in my head. The music, I'll put the song on while I'm doing my cardio and I'll be like, right, I need to hit that pose at that point. I need to go to the ground when the music slows down to that. I start my entrance like this. So I'm constantly planning everything in my head. That's my time. When I'm walking, that's my time to plan everything I need to do. And then I'm planning my workout.
Okay, that's really good. That's a good way of making sure you're not getting distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way, I can remember you mentioning that. It kind of took my mind back to when you were doing it here at this gym as well. And you were like, some people would just look at you and they were like, oh, Rob, yeah, he's getting ready. You can tell just when Rob, when you were like laser focused.
Yeah.
There's a show coming up, and I think you were competing for a few competitions, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah, when I was at that gym in Nottingham, I was getting ready for the UK BFF British Championships. So again, under 70s class, but back then I think that show that you saw me prep for, I think I weighed in at 63 kilos.
Really?
Even under 70, yeah. I dieted right down.
That's pretty good. What competitions have you won in titles? What championships?
The last one was BPA. That I'm their first under 70 kilos British champion. There's so many for so many different federations. Like I've got a first place for the UK BFF in, I think that was under 80s. I've got class 4 first places. I was the first ever Lee Priest class 4 champion. That was never going to happen again in the UK. So I was the first person to ever do that. I think I've got in excess of probably 20 to 25 trophies and probably 90 medals. But to be fair, the trophies I won last year, they mean the most to me because having that amount of time out, and then the show that I did where I got first in the under 75s and over 40s, that was it. That was retiring at that show. I'd already told everybody that was it. I'm going to do this show, then I'm done. They gave me a special plaque because they knew I was going to be retiring. And just thank you for my contribution to amateur bodybuilding. I didn't expect to do as well as I did. I was ready to call it a day and step away. And then when I got off the stage, one of the judges come up to me and went, mate, you were 1 point, or you were that close to getting that pro card in the overall.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I keep going? And then I spoke to my partner about it. And she was like, look, just give it another go. Just see how it goes this year and then decide. I'd rather go out on a high than go out on a low. And then, like I said, I ended up doing the BPA Rhino show, going on to the finals and then doing that. And that last year was like, I don't know, it meant more to me than out of all the, I'd say, 18 to 19 years I've been competing.
And that's good because obviously, there's always, for every athlete, there's always one competition that means the most to them. If it's their first competition, there's always like, okay, this means more. This means the best because obviously this is how it shows. I remind myself that this is how I started. And the last one was, this is how I came so far away. There's always a few in between that's, okay, this one felt good. This one, yeah, it was all right. I could have done a bit better, but it prepped me better for the next one that came along the way.
Yeah, I mean, like when I got into this, I never had a dream of becoming a professional bodybuilder or even being a British champion. I just wanted to be one of the best at the class that I chose to do. So every time I went to the British finals, I knew I wasn't going to come first. I just wanted to be in that top 10 or that top 5 and then know for that year, I'm in the top 5 of my class for the whole of Britain.